Welcome to Nugget 15 with Steve Grohman. Okay, today, Steve, we're going to delve into sort of a spacey kind of topic, and that's the topic of SpaceX. And I know there's a lot of controversy around this kind of new company. Tell us what you know about SpaceX.
There is a fair amount of controversy. You know, some people think everything's a fake, and some people think all CGI. Some people think, no, they're really doing some really cool stuff. But it is kind of neat to go to the facility. We were down in the valley in Texas where SpaceX in Boca Chica is building a new launch facility. We had a pretty good time just looking around that place.
Yeah, we took pictures of the sign where it says the different landing pads and
right.
launch sites
and landing pads and talked to the security guard.
Yeah, that was fun. But what's crazy about it is we were down there in December of 2018, and there were just two satellite dish-looking things out there, and one building and one guard sitting in a Dodge.
Kind of have a feeling it might have been the same guy.
But I think it may have been.
I think it was. Because I talked to him then too, but just briefly.
Right. But this time we went down Highway 4. We thought we were going to go see quiet little Boca Chica Beach, and we found cars from different states, and we found
quite
trucks.
The tourist trap.
And yeah, it's kind of the tourist trap. And lots of construction going on. Tell them all about what we saw.
They're building some enormous facilities. I guess it's like a Kwanzaa hut.
White-covered airplane hangar.
They're big facilities. They're going to have some big things in there. But
we also saw on the property a rather interesting building that I think we've seen in other videos.
Yes, we've seen it in some of the videos that are online. Anybody can find it. There's some neat things there.
Yeah, that triangular building.
Yep.
And when we asked the guard about that, he wouldn't tell us about
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I saw the guard when we drove by, and I thought, man, if he's in that same spot, I'm going to pull in and start talking to him. He wasn't in the same spot. He was in a different spot, but when I turned down the road, boy, he bolted right out of the truck. He wanted to make sure he stopped us. He seemed a little aggressive at the start, but we talked to him probably a good 30 minutes almost. It was
and he was excited
time.
to share what
we
saw.
We broke the ice a little bit, and he went from aggressive to pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't divulge anything that he wasn't allowed to.
No,
but
he was good at what he did.
He's met Elon a couple times, and he says he drives a tight ship.
They work 12-hour shifts, everybody does, and they're working around the clock. He told us some neat things. Officially, they've launched one site there, officially.
Yeah, we've seen the video of that little star hopper, and here's some pictures of their star hopper. We actually showed one person a picture of this star hopper, and they said it looks like the rocket that Wallace and Gromit took to the moon.
Yeah, that's what he said.
He kind of does.
I asked the security guard a number of questions, one of which is, how far do they block the road when they're going to do a launch? And he said 15 miles. And 15 miles is a long way.
And they close down the beach.
They close down the road, everything. If you're not a SpaceX employee, you can't go down the road, which is interesting because it's not a heavily populated area, but there are probably 10 houses back down in there. And
ranchers.
He said anywhere from 2 hours to, what did he say, like 12 or 18 or something like that. Yeah. Windows that they can be either locked in their house or locked out of their house. They can't go one way or the other, which is interesting. And also we saw a lot of property for sale this time. Several of the houses were for sale. I noticed this time too. I guess people aren't gonna tolerate that. When we went back through the Border Patrol check station, it's that guy there about shutting down the road, and they shut it down before the border check station. I asked him, "What do y'all do?" He said, "We just sit around. There's nothing. They can't do anything at that time."
But apparently, SpaceX is actually on the National Wildlife Refuge property.
Yes, that's what he said. They launched from their property.
They're not buying property from anyone. They're on that property. I presume they have
maybe a lease of some sort.
Also, when we were out there, we saw a lot of really huge storage tanks. The side said nitrogen. What are they using nitrogen?
Liquid nitrogen, yeah. Not just storage tanks, but it was on SpaceX property. They're running a pipeline from Mexico into Texas there. There's a high demand for, I don't think, not just liquid nitrogen, but they're using a lot of some kind of fuel. But it's interesting anyway. And while we're down that way, we also went to the river, went to the Rio Grande right there, looking at Mexico on one side and pelicans in between us and that. Watch them go fishing. That was pretty cool where they dive in.
So all you space fans, I hope you enjoyed this nugget. Those of you who don't know much about SpaceX, you might want to just look up the different issues and the different views about that company.
If you're ever down in South Texas, it's a long way down there. You don't pass through going anywhere else. But if you're down that direction, you ought to swing down there on the end of Highway 4. And not many people we know can say they've been there.
Right. And the one thing about it, no matter what you think of SpaceX, it is part of American history.
It is part of American history. They're employing a lot of people. We know an employee of SpaceX, right?
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
The plan is he's going to take us on a tour of SpaceX in McGregor.
Over near Waco.
The big facility there.
So we're looking forward to that. That's for sure. That's going to be cool.
So we'll do that here in the next few weeks and report back.
Right.
It'll be fun.
Keep watching our nuggets. And while you're at it, tell 10,000 of your closest friends about our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, hit that little bell, and tell others about our YouTube channel. Thank you.